Good morning. It is 11:30 on May 5th, 2026, and it is time for another Taco Tuesday. I'm very excited. My name is Jeff Bruner, and I'm very excited to be joined today by four of our excellent vendor partners who are going to be showing off some of their cool products for WiLS members. So I'm going to get us right into it. We're going to start off with PressReader, who is being represented today by Laura. Laura, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can take over.
Thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Wills. It's good to be back for another Taco Tuesday. I'm hoping my internet comes through for me. It's been a little bit dicey lately, but um, let's hope it works out. I previously at Taco Tuesday, I had talked about PressReader for public libraries, and I wanted to talk about PressReader for K through 12 because I know there are many K through 12 schools in this group. Here's my contact information. The best way to get a hold of me is by email, laurao@pressreader.com. I'd be happy to do a demo for your school and set up a trial if you're interested. So, PressReader has 7,000 newspapers and magazines in 60 languages from 120 different countries. They're all digital print replicas, so they appear exactly the way the publication appears in print, and you can switch from that digital print replica to the text view. Which is a nice feature. All of the publications are up to date. So today's paper would have come into PressReader, overnight, and then it's ready for me in the morning. Publications include USA Today, the Boston Globe, Foreign Affairs, The Guardian, just to name a few. But again, there are 7,000. So it's very accessible through the web. There's the PressReader app, which works with iOS and Android. And if you auto-download things or download things at any point on the PressReader app, they are then available offline, so you can read them offline. There are 27 different interface languages. So if you would rather go through and read PressReader in French, you can do that, or any of the other 27 languages. It is compliant with WCAG 2.1 accessibility features. And there's some really nice user-friendly features, the biggest of which is the browse feature. I think having the browse capability is really what makes PressReader different from a lot of other newspaper and magazine databases. You can, of course, search. You can do basic search or advanced search. You can follow publications. You can automatically download publications. You can save articles, share articles, even with people who don't have PressReader. There are many different print options, and you can listen, and then you can translate to up to 39 languages and counting. So the number of languages is growing by the day. In terms of searching, you can do a basic search. You can use keywords to find publications or articles. You can do that on the web version or on the app version. The advanced search is available only on the web version. You can narrow by language, publication, author, or date range. There's a For You feed in PressReader. So this feed pulls the top articles from newspapers and magazines around the world and puts them into typical newspaper categories like top stories, politics, business, tech, health, etc., so that you can read across numerous publications in the same category. And you can switch between the replica view and the text view easily. You can adjust the layout, the text size, and the contrast. So in terms of for K-12, there are plenty of applications for media literacy. Just having access to so many different publications from so many different places would allow students to better understand point of view and bias and evaluate sources and purposes, is something for information purposes or entertainment purposes, for example. There are plenty of applications for language arts and for multilingual learners with the instant translation to 39 languages. You can also change, this is something I haven't shown before, I think at Taco Tuesday, but you can change the region and the language. So I am sitting in Ohio, but if I wanted to pretend I was in Spain and get Spanish news in Spanish, I can do that, and I'll show you how that works. You can change the interface language to up to 27 different languages. The audio feature, the listen feature, is an automated voice, but those voices are getting better and better. And at this point, you can actually listen for pronunciation and fluency. So, with 120 different countries, there are numerous cultures. There are plenty of things to look at in terms of social studies. You can compare across countries on the same subject to understand different perspectives. And of course, it's just different having, you know, reading something in American news about somewhere else versus being able to read the local news from that place. There are plenty of high interest topics, especially in the magazines. So things like gaming, fashion, technology, fitness, etc. So for leisure reading, PressReader is great, and it's highly visual and browsable. So I'm going to switch to PressReader so I can show you live. Okay, hopefully you can see PressReader now. You can see that I'm in a K-12 library demo.
We do see that.
Okay, good. It's good to know I haven't lost you.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Great. So, okay, so at the top, you can see we have catalog for you, puzzles, which is a relatively new feature, and then there's a more option as well. So right now I'm in the catalog option, and that's a great place to look if you just want to see different publications. So you'll see the cover or the front page of the publication. I am following the Boston Globe in this demo, so that's why it's appearing at the very top. I can go into the Boston Globe. I can read today's paper. I can go back to previous day's papers. I have this added to my publications, which is why it's showing at the top. If I wanted to listen to the entire paper, I could click that button. But I'll show you just to give you a demo. I can scroll through the entire paper for today. I can click into an article, and I can read the text version of the article. From this point, I can change the font, I can save, I can listen. I will try to do this if the internet holds up, and okay, so I don't know if you were able to hear that, but I was able to hear it on my end. I will happily give you a trial so you can hear it as well if you didn't hear it. I can share this article if I want to. So I can copy the link and just send it over email. I can share it on Facebook or X. Print. I can have several options for print. I can print as text, as an image, or print the whole page. I can go back to the page view, and then actually back in to an article. And I can translate. So here are all the languages I can translate to. So for language classes, I took French, and we always had to read an article in French and then go back and read the same article in English. And that would be very easy to do with PressReader because you can easily translate, you can easily print, you can easily share by email and save articles. So you can see it's now in French, and I can actually listen in French too, which is a nice feature. Sometimes it's nice to listen and if you're learning a language. So I don't know if you're able to hear that again. I'll give you a trial if you weren't. So let me go back to the catalog page. And I'll show you very quickly. There's a featured carousel with top publications. I can go to recently read publications. These are things that I read recently. You can also customize a carousel. So, for example, if there were certain publications that your school wanted students to read, you could highlight those in your own carousel. It would say XYZ school recommends. The other thing you can do with PressReader, let's say if your school has a school newsletter, you can actually publish the school newsletter inside PressReader only for your students. It wouldn't be for everybody in PressReader, but for your students. So if you had any publications that you have the rights to, you can actually self-publish those in PressReader alongside the Boston Globe and USA Today. So as I keep scrolling, I can search by different countries. I can narrow and use these filters, country and language. I know I'm short on time here, so I'm speeding up, but in the For You section, here's where I can change the region and the language. So right now I'm in the United States and I'm reading in English, but if I wanted to look at Canadian news, I would probably take off the United States just so it doesn't flood the news. It's going to show me the news from the perspective of Canada in French. Let me go to top stories. There it is. Just had to load. So you can see the stories now changed to a different perspective. Also on the For You page, I can go to interface language and I can change the language to whatever language. I'm careful about doing this because if I change it to Mandarin right now, I'm not going to be able to read the word English to get back to English. So for my purposes today, I am going to change to Spanish because I know how to read the word English in Spanish. Inglés de Estados Unidos. So that's how I would get back. So there's some interesting things in terms of language. PressReader does have some puzzles. These are just different fun puzzles every day. If you get stuck, you can always go to the Help Center to see if there's something in here that might be able to help. Let me go back. So I think I've reached the end of my time, but thank you again, Jeff, and thank you, WiLS. Good to be back for Taco Tuesday, and I hope my internet made it through the whole time.
Seems like it worked out second
Okay.
time around, Lara. So thank you so much. I did see one question come into chat. I think we maybe already have answered this, but Catherine said so if this is a replica of the paper version, will it also include illustrations, photos, maps, and tables? Can you address that?
Yeah, it includes everything. So in the newspaper, it has the classifieds, the crosswords, the ads, everything exactly as it appears in the printed publication. So,
Great.
yep.
Perfect. Thank you again, Lara, for showing us around
Thank
PressReader.
you.
Megan, if you're feeling good, could we switch over to you?
Hi, everybody. My name is Meghan Alley. I am joining you from Creativebug for Libraries. Usually when I do this demo, I talk specifically about Creativebug for Libraries. I will be talking about that today, but we also have a new product that we have just launched as of last month called Creativebug Borrow. So I'm also going to do a brief demo of that product, of that program, and without further ado, I will dive right in. So if you're not aware, Creativebug is an all-access streaming video database for craft classes. We offer new classes every week, and we offer live events. We have a large library of patterns and printables. And with our library subscription, everything is covered by public performance. So you can use any of the video content or all of our patterns and printables, magazines, etc. All of those you can use publicly in your library. We also work with all different types of libraries, so mainly public libraries, but we also have a lot of good especially within WiLS. We have some good K-12 library partners and some academic library partners as well. All of our videos are very easy to use, very similar to all other streaming video platforms. So if you have familiarity with any of the existing streaming video platforms, it's pretty easy to use Creativebug. We also include features such as note-taking tools, 10-second rewind. These are particularly useful, I would say, for programming. And so as I go through the demo, I will show a little bit of that to show you how to use those tools. All of our videos are also high quality. We have a professional team who films and edits all of our video content. This is us. This is the Creativebug for Libraries team, very small but mighty. You've met me, Megan. I have a colleague.
Megan, I think we're not seeing your screen if you're sharing your screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me share my screen. That would be helpful. I'm so sorry.
No, think nothing of it. That's okay. All right. There's the team.
Yes, there we go. Sorry about that. Minor details. Have to share my screen. Myself, my colleague Angie, and then our customer success manager, Teresa King, who she really handles all of the technical issues and admin questions and all kinds of fun stuff like that. She's wonderful. All right, so introducing Creativebug Borrow. This is an optional add-on to Creativebug. So in order to get Creativebug Borrow, you do have to have an active Creativebug subscription. And how it works is that it's a single sign-on experience. We do pay-per-use billing. So you check out a borrow and it's good for 7 days. And then you are billed for each of those uses once the month closes. We also have a prepay option for this. And really the idea behind Creativebug Borrow, I would say, is that we have for a long time, Creativebug has had this sort of dream of being the hub for creative content for libraries. And this is our first step toward realizing that dream and that goal. So we are now very, very pleased to be able to introduce our new product. This is how it works. You subscribe to Creativebug, you enable Creativebug Borrow with your account manager, and then you can access the week-long passes. It's a very simple process. I'm going to go through and show you actually just Creativebug as an overview, and then I'll talk to you a little bit more about the specifics of our borrow partners. I'm just going to stop sharing. I'm going to remind myself to share again once I open up Creativebug. Here we go. All right, so you should be able to see, oops, and I'm already seeing it isn't showing my borrow up top. That's okay, I'll get there. So this is I'm assuming you can see creativebug.com.
Yep.
Okay. This is our site. This is how it works. I am going to play a video for you just so you can see kind of what I was referring to when I was talking about the in-video tools that we offer. But as I mentioned, it's a streaming video database. Everything is organized. We have our newest class usually right here on this big banner in the middle of the screen. And then below that, we have opportunities for you to navigate via carousel. So right here, you can pick up where you left off. We have some recommended classes, some new classes. We've introduced this beautiful craft-a-log, which is seasonal, that can be accessed on our site. And then below that, you can continue to just explore what we have. Up here, we also have our browsing options. So you can start off with just browsing through our video classes, seeing what daily practice options we have available. This is our large library of patterns and printables, which I mentioned. And then here under goodies, we have even more good stuff to look at. And I'll show you some of that in just a couple minutes. So we'll get started. I'm actually just going to watch the one that we have right here. This is called Drawing Disrupted. It's 15 experiments. And this is a daily practice. So what you will see when we're kind of at the beginning of the month, as we are right now, is that not all of the videos are available to watch. So as you go along and you proceed through the course of the month, more videos will become available. We'll start with the first
Today
one.
we're going to start with some warm-ups.
Just so I can show you a few features of the site.
And then cited contour line drawing.
I'm going to go ahead and
It's a
enable
really great
captions. We have captions currently available in English, Spanish, French, and Chinese. So feel free to enable those here. We have the ability to add annotations. So if I wanted to make a note and save that, I can do that there.
Today we're going to start with some more beginning. It's a little.
I also mentioned the 10-second rewind, which you can use if you need to rewatch a feature or skill on the class. So just some of the nice features that we have available there. And below this, you'll get a little description of what you'll learn, your materials list, and some of the outcomes of your class. I'm also going to point out here our Craftalog, which I mentioned. So this is just an overview of some of the classes that we have that are seasonally relevant. And this is really wonderful for programming. So you can go through here and see all of the different classes that we've compiled around certain themes. We typically try to launch these a few months before the start of the season. So our autumn and holiday guide will be coming out within days, so that you can start planning for the next season of programming and see some of the things that we have available there. I also like to point out our blog, which is a great place to find inspiration. We have a lot of great posts. This is a new one that just came out today about Me Made May, which is a celebration that we observe every single year at Creativebug. All right, I know I don't have a ton of time, so I'm going to come back to my slideshow. Okay, so the two Borrow partners that we currently work with are Artists Network and Gibson Guitar App. They're both unique. They're both, I think, really interesting and also appeal to different, I don't know, maybe they don't appeal to different groups. I think there are probably some people who fit into that mold where they're just sort of a general creative. But Artist Network is a video-based community for artists who have intermediate to advanced skills in fine art. So this is really a place for someone who's looking for that advancement of their skill, looking for some inspiration for challenges, maybe to deepen their proficiency with specific aspects of creating fine art. And so this is something that we now offer alongside the Creativebug for Libraries membership. Artists, you can also see here, these images on the front are pictures of Artists Magazine, which is part of the subscription. You can get access to 12 years of back issues of Artists Magazine. And these are just giving you some overview, an overview of what's included. So we have 850 plus instructional video workshops. As I mentioned, the entire Artist Magazine digital archive. We have a library of ebooks also available within Artist Network, and there are additional articles that provide access to things like inspiration. It's kind of similar to how our blog is structured. So that's a really cool add-on experience for Creativebug users. And then we also now partner with Gibson. Gibson is a guitar learning app, and the way it works is it's kind of like I keep saying it's like real life Guitar Hero, because it's a gamified experience to help teach you how to learn guitar and to advance your skill. So it's really great for any level of guitarist. For those who are just starting out, there are things like interactive lessons, there's skill training, skill tracking, there's a digital amp, there's a tuner, metronome, and when you start to play with the app, you'll see sort of the ways in which you can modify it based on your skill level, your interests, the genre of music that you like, and there are different songs that you can learn to play as well. For more advanced guitarists, there are other options that you can use. Like there's an option to kind of like jam with a band. And yeah, it's really cool. It gives you real-time feedback. It listens to you playing your guitar in real time, and it's just a great new addition to our existing product offering. I do have a link to the service trial for all three of those products that I will also share with you here in the chat, so that you can test out some of those products and see if something that your patrons may be interested in. And with that, I will close my presentation. I don't know if there are any questions about Creativebug or Creativebug Borrow. If I have time for that.
Thank you, Megan. I haven't seen any questions come in yet, but of course, folks, if you have any questions for Megan, please feel free to put some into the chat, or just let us know here at WiLS.
Thank you so much.
Really cool presentation, Megan. I'm very excited about what I saw today. I think it's the Gibson partnership seems like a natural fit and never would have occurred to me, but it seems like a great fit for the platform. So that's super cool.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to share my screen another time to get us ready for our third presentation. And I think that joining us to show us something from ProQuest, WiLS vendor partner ProQuest, is Sarah. Is that right, Sarah?
Yeah, hi everyone. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, welcome. Welcome to Taco Tuesday. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can take over.
Okay, let me bring up my slides. Is everyone seeing that okay, Jeff?
Looks good.
Okay, perfect. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks everyone for attending or watching the recording. I'm here to speak a few minutes about streaming video options here at ProQuest. And I'm going to start with Academic Video Online, which is our primary streaming video database for academic and schools. And then we have a variation of this product that's configured for public libraries. So the first thing to understand about Academic Video Online or Public Video Online is that they are subscription resources. So you pay an annual subscription fee, and then you have unlimited simultaneous access to all of the content that's included. It's built to be all you can eat by intention, and so you pay that once annual fee, and then you're free to use the resource as much as you'd like, and your cost doesn't change based on how much video your users are consuming. Academic Video Online comes with perpetual ownership, which is a really unique benefit program for a subscription resource. And I'll say more about that a bit later in the presentation. And we offer also a free media hosting service to subscribing libraries. And again, I'll say a bit more about that in detail in a minute. But the intention of the resource is to be a solution-style product. So we want you to get everything that you're needing out of this resource for those subscription dollars. We like to say that it has everything from anthropology to zoology. It's more than 87,000 videos and growing constantly. We add around 3,000 to 4,000 titles each year, and we really welcome your feedback. So both librarian feedback, but also instructor feedback. So your users to tell us what are the titles that you'd like us to add. If there's specific video that's being requested by your teachers, instructors, or students, we really would love for you to share that with us. And then we go out and seek licensing, seek the ability to add those specific titles. And that really comprises the bulk of those 3,000 to 4,000 titles that we're adding each year are direct recommendations from educators. And an emphasis on currency too in those new titles that we're adding each and every year. I think if you told instructors at your school or your library, your institution, that you had a new streaming video resource, if you shared that with 10 different educators, they would have 10 different ideas of what that means to them and what streaming video is right for their particular course or discipline or department area. And that's because video is a really diverse term. And so we want the database to reflect a big variety in types of streaming video. And that's what you can see on this slide, that we have feature film, we have documentary, we have narrative film, we have TV. Think of partners like PBS and CBS, which is on this slide. We have ethnography, performing arts, lecture content, demonstration. Think of like allied health or nursing training. So there's a big variety in what is comprising the 87,000 videos in this resource. And the goal is for there to be something that's appropriate for everyone. I just wanted to spend a minute kind of highlighting some of the content that we have. These are some of the partners. For sure, these are some household names like PBS and the BBC, um, Dow Jones, The Economist, A&E, which is the History Channel. And we do work with a lot of big name partners. I also want to emphasize that included in that 87,000 videos are plenty of partners, maybe who aren't household names, but who are really experts at pedagogical video. That's all they do. A place like Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development or Dallas Learning Solutions, maybe those aren't as famous as PBS, but for sure their content is really aligned to learning objectives and was created with the sole purpose of educating students. We have a lot of content that's unique to us, so we're the only source in the academic market for this streaming video, and the highlights here are really Sony Pictures Classics, Roku Films, which is a premier documentary provider, 60 Minutes, Grasshopper Film, Third World Newsreel. We're really proud of these partnerships, and again, they're unique to academic video online. And then just a minute on what some of those partners bring us. So PBS is by far the most popular partner we have, particularly in school libraries, very popular in higher ed. And this is just kind of some highlights of what they make available to us. And it's very diverse content. So PBS is known for performing arts, literature, history, humanities, but also science. So Nova, nature, political science, and everything in between. And so this slide, I hope, represents the diversity of content that they bring and really something for every department at your institution. And a lot of flagship programming here, things like American Experience, Frontline, American Masters. That's really what PBS is known for. But they also air a lot of full-length feature documentary and film. And on this slide, you can see 20 Days in Mariupol, which was the Academy Award winner for Best Documentary in 2025, which is very incredible that PBS distributes that and makes it available to us. It's about the war in Ukraine. And one other thing, last thing about PBS is that they are excellent partners and there's not really the concept of an embargo. So when something is airing on television, broadcasting, usually that is available in academic video online almost immediately after that air date. And a good example of that is Ken Burns, who is kind of synonymous with PBS, and a lot of his titles are on this slide. He has a series about the American Revolutionary War, which is very popular right now because of the 250th anniversary. And that aired on television around the holiday season, and we were able to add it to academic video online really concurrently with that TV broadcast, which was really special, and a good statement about how PBS, really their mission is education. And then Sony Pictures Classics, these are feature films that are really festival and award winners. There's some documentary in here and some narrative film as well. They really have an emphasis on global cinema, and these are used a lot, particularly in school libraries in foreign education classes. There's a lot of French and Spanish, Italian, German language content from Sony, and we're really proud to be their partner. And then I mentioned Roku Films, which is a leading documentary provider of ours. They have an emphasis on social justice documentaries, and they really seek documentaries that they think will be used well in education, that educators want to teach with these films, and educate students on the most pressing issues of our time. And you can see that kind of represented in this cover art around topics like history, minority studies, health policy, environmental studies, climate change, and a lot of new content from them as well. They have a really great slate of films that we're expecting in the second half of this year, including The Librarians, which is about book challenges across the US, and Free for All, which is broadcasting on PBS, I think this month, around the history of public libraries. So they're just a really excellent eye for documentary film, and their titles are used all the time in academic video online. And then we have a really unique and special relationship with CBS News. So we have 60 Minutes from 1997 to the present, select segments from 2014 on. And then we have a lot of their historical archival material from programs like Face the Nation and Eye on America. And you can see on the slide a lot of very famous moments in history, world leaders debuted on Face the Nation. And we're really fortunate to have their archive available as part of this resource as well. And then last thing on content is that we have a brand new series of clinical nursing videos that are accredited by the ANCC. And you can see some of the topics listed on this slide: anatomy and physiology, assessment, infection control, but really all of the top clinical skills that are taught in most nursing degree programs. And that's unique and exclusive to us. And then in a streaming video resource, the platform really is part of the product, and we're very proud of the platform. We put a lot of investment and energy into it, and it can do a lot of things that I think maybe traditional library platforms don't necessarily do, because this medium is so unique, and there's so many things that instructors are doing when they're teaching with video. And so that starts with accessibility is at the very top of that list. This is WCAG 2.1 AA compliant and beyond. So we have a lot of features that are accessibility best practices. Captions are a must, a scrolling transcript that's synchronized to the video. We have a lot of audio described video, and the platform is compatible with a lot of assistive technologies, including screen readers, but other things as well. So if someone is relying on keyboard navigation or voice navigation, the platform is responsive to those tools. And we're passionate about accessibility here at ProQuest. And so just want to emphasize that. I can't emphasize accessibility enough, especially at this moment. And then we have integrations with courseware. So instructors are able to seamlessly, with one button click, embed video inside courseware tools like Canvas or Blackboard or Google Classroom. The platform can be translated into foreign languages. That includes the captions and transcripts into, I think it's 18 or 20 different languages. And we're always welcoming feedback. If there's a language that you need supported at your institution, you let us know and we'll go about adding it. We have a citation manager that's powered by RefWorks. We have a feature that we added pretty recently that enables instructors to embed questions or discussion prompts or annotations directly into video. Again, taking the actions that we know instructors are doing when they teach with video and making them a fundamental part of the database, trying to make it as easy as possible for instructors to teach with this video, to really incorporate it into their teaching. And we have a clip maker that enables instructors to create their own clips if they know they only have 5 minutes in class to show a specific scene or segment of a video. We make that nice and easy as well. And this is just a screenshot of what that interactivity feature looks like, where a user, a teacher, an instructor, somebody has created a multiple choice question that's sort of paired alongside the video and which the student has to engage with. So we're kind of taking video and moving it from passive learning to active learning. And then I mentioned that this subscription comes with perpetual ownership. So each year that you subscribe, those subscription dollars come back to you, and you select titles from within the database that your library will then own in perpetuity. So even if your library chooses not to renew this resource 5 years from now, you still have perpetual access to the films that you selected through this program. And again, that's a really incredible benefit and very unique on the market. And we offer a free media hosting service. So as long as you're subscribing, if you have content that your library needs to host and store somewhere and stream, you're welcome to use our platform to do that. It's only available to your library's users, and that's free and unlimited while you're subscribing. And then I can't emphasize accessibility enough, so just a word about our commitment to accessibility and all of the documentation that we have and all of the ways that we make this resource, because it's a multimedia resource, accessible to truly all users. And then very briefly, I just wanted to talk about a second product that we've just launched. It's brand new on the market this year, called ProQuest Kids on Español. This is available to public libraries and school libraries only. And it's a Spanish language streaming video collection designed especially for very early learners. So it's entirely animated from a variety of series that were licensed from Spain and Mexico. And the goal is developing vocabulary, helping with foundational language skills, inspiring imagination and creativity. All the episodes are available in either English or Spanish. And the target age for this product is really anywhere from 3 to 8. And here's some of the highlights of the titles. Again, this is available for public libraries or school libraries only. This is available as a subscription resource. And we've had a really good response to it so far. There's been a lot of interest in trialing. And I should mention both academic video online and ProQuest Kids on Español are obviously available for trial or quotes. And if your library is interested, please get in touch. We'd love to do a more complete presentation and product demonstration for you. So I'm going to stop sharing.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
Questions?
I haven't seen any questions come in yet, but like I always say, please, WiLS folks, members, if you're watching this live or on the recording, if you've got any questions, please do reach out to us. We'll make sure to get you the answers. Oh, here's Catherine. She says, "Do you have demos for chemistry?"
In academic video online, yeah, we have a ton of chemistry video, both demonstration and a bit longer form for all levels, really. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks for that question, Catherine. Okay. Well, why don't we thank you again, Sarah, for presenting. Why don't we go ahead and I will set us up for our final presentation of the day. That will be Matt, who is joining us from NewsBank. Matt, are you ready to take over?
We are ready to go.
All right. I've stopped sharing my screen, so it should be all yours.
All right. I will share mine. And hopefully you see that.
I do know. Yep, looks good.
All right. Great, great. So this is our flagship product, Access World News. It contains over 15,000 sources from around the world. Over 200 countries and territories are represented. It gives us content in 19 different languages, and that's the original language of the publications, of course. Okay, it's mainly the news and media arena is where we live. So it's newspapers, magazines, journals, and so on. You can do a key search. It's got over 1.2 billion documents in it. So you can literally get information on just about any topic. And since we're talking about Taco Tuesday, and it is Cinco de Mayo, I figured we'll just do a search for Cinco de Mayo. So here, as you can see, I do a search for Cinco de Mayo. And in this case, I've got over 200,000 results. The key to narrowing the information down, of course, is dependent on what that research or activity is about. We automatically default to the newest content first. So you can see this is from today from the Acadian Advocate out of Louisiana. I can do a best match or oldest and resort my data accordingly, okay? I can sort my date and filter it by multiple date fields. So I have historical content built into this right now, but normally the data itself comes from roughly 1980 to present, and it is updated daily. So example there, I've just narrowed my information down 1990 forward, okay? I can put in my own ad hoc set of dates to filter the information if I wish, okay? Again, multiple source types, primarily that news and media area. So it's audio, professional blogs, college and university newspapers, journals and magazines, newsletters, newspaper, newswire, transcript, video, web-only content, okay? And I can filter to any one of these by clicking on it, or I can go to the more options. And example is if I wanted journals and magazines, I could do that, hit apply, and that will return that information. Okay. If I make a mistake, I didn't get results the way I wanted, I can simply clear those filters out with a simple click and get back to where I was. Okay. I can filter by year. So this is giving me my results by year. Source name. So if there's a specific title you're looking for, example, maybe I want the Milwaukee Journal. I can just start typing, and it will, as you can see, start narrowing it down for me. And here I've got information on the Milwaukee Journal, and I've got that in a full text version. I've got that in an image edition. Okay. I've got their professional blogs that they no longer print. And then I've got their web-only content. So even though they go to print, they continue to publish new information on the web. Well, we get that content as well. So here I've narrowed it down just to that information from the Milwaukee Journal. Okay, and you can see here, this is an image edition. So it's the exact copy of that newspaper front to back in a digital version. fully searchable, browsable, and so on. And then you've got full text articles as well. Okay. And again, simply click to remove that filter and get back to where I was. Okay. You can apply a Lexile level for schools, okay, or even public libraries and so on. Okay. So I can go to a reading level. Again, multiple languages. So here, okay, I've got 10 languages that have returned with this specific set of filters and so on. Okay. Mainly English, but there's lots of Spanish, German, French. So this will support the languages as well. Okay. We are building in a translation tool that will translate all full text articles into any one of 34 different languages. And with that is a read to text feature that will also read in 24 different lingos. Okay. I can sort by location. So a good example here is if I only wanted information from Wisconsin, okay, I can go to state here. All right. Just click on Wisconsin and here I go. And now I've got information on Cinco de Mayo. Okay. Strictly from Wisconsin. And there we are. Okay. So today in history. All right. But as I scroll down, you'll see here that we've got other image edition of newspapers from Wisconsin. So here's the Gazette. Here's the Times Journal, the Cross Tribune. So we have actually from Wisconsin, there's over 170 different sources itself. Okay. And 7 different image edition newspapers. We continue to add content and new publishers at the request of our customers. Okay. So if there's something that you were looking for, a publisher, and you didn't find it in here, even though we've got over 15,000 sources, let us know who it is. We'll get that into the hands of our rights and permission team to look into it. Okay. So example here is a full text article, tools for the user, increase the text size, create the citation, email function, a print function. I can download this to Google or to a PDF. I can share the link and it integrates with Google Classroom. It integrates with Canvas. It integrates with Schoology. Okay. So multiple ways to doing it. And there is a read along again. And with this read along, okay, once I evoke it, okay, you'll see here all the different languages, the lingos that I can actually have this read in. Okay. And then it will translate information as well. Okay. Into, again, 34 different languages. So there is my translation tool. Boom. Now we're changing the way it appears so that by the time September gets here, you'll have just a little button here that you'll be able to do that with. I'm going to go to my next result, which I believe is an image edition. It is. So here's an image edition of the newspaper. Okay. And you'll see it is an exact version of the Gazette, exactly the way it was delivered today. Okay. There's page 1. And again, I can search this issue for more information, either this page or the entire issue. Okay. Info on, this is where my results are from right now, page 1. The citation tool. And with that citation tool, you can see you've got multiple citation types, and you can export that to EasyBib, RefWorks, or Noodle Tools. Okay. That email function, the clip function. This gets used a ton, especially in schools and public libraries, because they're very visual. So example is if I wanted to clip out this caption, because I'm using that in my assignment, I can size it. Now I can print it, download it to a PDF, or save it to Google. I'll download it, and I have the option to include the citation right away. This will clip it directly off of that page for me and create a nice clean PDF. Okay. So now I've got a nice clean PDF that I can open up right here, and you'll see here is that caption. Okay. With the citation underneath. So it makes it very, very easy to use. Okay. Again, I can print it, the full page, or a clip, download that copy link, and that's a Duro link. So this will always go to this article, and you can email that to a teacher, a student, to a parent, anybody you wish. They click on it, it'll open up this page. Okay, and then here I can peruse the whole thing, jump to a page this way or this way. So these image editions get used a ton, as you can imagine, because they're very, very visual. Okay, so you can literally search any topic you can imagine. Okay, second way to get to information are our suggested topics. We've got we've got summer reading coming up. So here is for the summer reading program. Okay. Can somebody's speaking? Can you go on mute, please? Okay. Thank you. You've got events and holidays. You've got trending issues. So example is access trending issues. So this is updated every 30 days by market. So academic, public library, K-12, community colleges, and so on. We update this access trending issues every month based on what we're seeing searched, a year in review. So this is getting used quite often, giving us what happened in 2025. And with all of our suggested topics, you simply click on that topic and you'll note it creates a quite complex search in most cases, which can be modified, but it gives me a good set of results to get me to information in just 2 clicks. Okay. And you'll note here all the different subject areas studied in schools, looked at in public libraries, and so on. Okay. We also actually create these at the request of, again, our customers. A good example of that is if I go to business and economics, okay, this entire personal finance section was added at the request of one of our customers. Their economics teacher was doing a whole section on personal finance and needed some help. They let us know what topics they were. And what we did is we literally created these searches to bring the user, again, to good information. Then they get the chance to literally apply the different filters they need, get to specific information, and so on. Okay. So that's 2 different ways you can get to information. A third way, we have our quick links. So hot topics. So the hot topics every month, we actually create what are some of the big issues that occurred around the world, those key global issues. It's updated monthly. So this is the May 26 version. You'll see it goes all the way back to March of 2018, and it's organized by subject area: current events, business economics, civics, government politics, social issues, science, technology, and health, sports, people in the news, arts, and literature. And when you click on any one of these, okay, it will highlight what were those big things that occurred or are occurring, okay? And you'll note we give you a little explanation of what it is. And then here's a search to get more information. So I click that. Now, again, I get the good information around this specific topic that allows me now to just apply a few more filters to get deeper information. Okay. Daily headlines and lesson plans. So every day, what we do here is we highlight 10 articles from around the world. And these are the big things that are repeating themselves. Okay, so here's an article: Village braces for closure of Spain's largest nuclear plant. Okay, here's that article, a search to get more information, the read along. But what I've done is we've created a lesson plan around this. So for teachers and academia, okay, they can use these lesson plans and modify them how they wish. General education standards. All lesson plans are made up of 4 sets of questions that will require additional research if you're going to use the entire thing. So we provide you with a search, vetted websites, presentation, and assessment options. So as you can see, very, very usable. And every day we create these lesson plans, and we've got an archive of lesson plans now, 5,928 lesson plans. By the time the school season is over, we'll have over 6,000 lesson plans. I can search them. So example is if I want to get a lesson plan, 9/11, here I get lesson plans on 9/11. Maybe I'm in the science world and I need something around DNA. Okay, so I can simply search. It hones in on the name, the title of the lesson plan. And you'll see here, identical to the last lesson plan we just looked at. Okay. So they're all very, very usable and so on. I'll go back to search here. Okay. And last but not least is we also create quick links for you. So example is if you wanted a quick link to a specific title, maybe it's your local title, because we've got, again, information from very, very local to state, to regional, national, international content. But maybe I only want information from the USA Today. Well, I can click here, and now I've got the USA Today in an image edition. I've got their full text version. I've got their web only. And now I can do that search for Cinco de Mayo here and get that information from the USA Today only, as opposed to those other 15,000 sources I've got within the database. So very, very easy to customize this based on what your needs are, what content you want to have, and so on. Okay. I know I'm coming right to the end here, so I'll open it up for questions and want to thank you for your time.
Thank you, Matt. I do see a question came through. Catherine, actually, we might need to go back to your screen share. Catherine asked if it's possible. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think that I'm not sure if this is for our previous presenter or not. It says, please click on the image. No, this is for you, I think. Please click on the image so that we can see what the pages look like to see if it has table, illustrations, maps, etc. Is that something that we're able to demo?
Yeah, so all the full text articles, I'm sorry, all the image editions are complete front to back. So they have everything in them.
Great.
Okay. Yep. I'll just do Cinco real quick and
Okay.
let it kick back here. And let's go to state. I'll bring in the Wisconsin data. And okay, so there is that Gazette, that image edition, and you can see, so here, I click on this page. There's all your images and so on. So it is complete with everything, exactly the way it's delivered to your doorstep in the morning.
Wonderful. Thank you, Matt.
Okay.
Well, I don't see any other questions for Matt, but I'll reiterate what I've said all along. If anyone does have questions or thinks of something else you'd like to know, please let us know here at WiLS, and we will be sure to put you in touch with the right person to answer your question. I'm going to share my screen again just to close out today's Taco Tuesday. So I will say thank you to all of our presenters. Thanks so much for showing us these fantastic resources that our members can obtain via WiLS Cooperative Purchasing. Thank you to those of you who came live. Thank you for the great questions and the interactivity. I always really appreciate that. Thank you to any of you who may be watching on the recording. I hope that you're having a good day, whatever day it is. And finally, I'll say thank you to my co-pilot in the background here, Lyra. I don't know if I've ever acknowledged it, but almost every Taco Tuesday, you can see Lyra the dog kind of laying in the background. So we do have another Taco Tuesday lined up for 2 weeks from today on May 19th. I hope you'll join us for that as well. One more time, if you have any questions about anything you've seen here today or any questions about the cooperative purchasing service from WiLS, please do reach out to us. The best way to reach us is always by email, which is the right address. The best address to use is co-op, that's COOP, @wils.org. Thank you so much again, and I hope everyone has a great afternoon. Bye now.